All right, you are tuned into MMA Canada, and I'm very excited to be soon tuning into FLA 16, which goes down on September 21st. And very happy to be getting to talk to one of the main eventers of the card, Ryan Rohovich, going to be stepping in there with Cameron Nelson. And great getting to have Cam as part of the MMA Canada experience here. How are you doing, man? You having a solid day so far?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you having me on to chit chat a little bit about the upcoming main event spot. And yeah, just excited to be on.
Yeah, and I love to see what's been going on with FLA. Like, I felt like, I mean, they have had regional shows in that part of Canada over the years, but I feel like FLA's done a great job of providing that consistent sort of presence and stuff like that. And with you now readying to, have another big fight for them, I mean, just so cool to see. I feel like it really gives not just yourself, but many different fighters that kind of platform to really hone their skills and not have to like go to a completely different part of the country to get in fights and all.
100%. Yeah, they're doing a great job just putting on consistent shows. Like you said, giving local athletes the opportunity to compete, get in there, and put their skills on display. And great people to work with as well. Very professional. You can tell they want to see their fighter succeed. They put a lot of effort into the promotional side of things and looking after their athletes and things like that. So yeah, I couldn't be happier to be kind of linked up with the guys over at FLA for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to just see like how things have kind of led to here because I felt like you had a decently active 2023 with three fights in the calendar year, and just with this coming bout being your first fight of the calendar year, like it would seem like you've spent the last like 10 some odd months really, even further honing those skills. Like, are we going to be seeing like a brand new version of Cam Nelson out there, you're thinking?
I think so, man. Yeah, I've really taken the last 10 months to just kind of do a deep dive into my skills and just really working on becoming a better fighter, better athlete, better person. Done some traveling the last 10 months, kind of traveling around different gyms, getting different looks, and really just kind of embracing the martial arts lifestyle, and really just kind of just trying to get better every day, man, chipping away. So yeah, obviously you don't want to take any extended breaks between fights. It's not really a line of work or a sport where you can be half in, half out. You want to kind of always be immersed in the game. So I just took the 10 months to really focus on training and getting better. Um, wasn't entirely my decision. I was trying to get a fight back in June that kind of fell through. Same thing with earlier in the year. I've been healthy the whole time. I've been trying to be active. It's just kind of the way the cards fell for this one. So I just kind of bided my time and just kind of stayed mentally ready and just acted as if I was in fight camp year round and just kept training. So yeah.
Yeah, and that was something that I did notice in doing my research. Like, I've known you to get and work at Renzo Gracie PEI over the years, but it also seems like you were working with Niagara Top Team as well. So great to get those different looks and stuff like that too.
Yeah, for sure. I was up there. I went up for a first stint in April for a couple weeks. Got hooked up through them through Josh Hill. Obviously, probably familiar with that name.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely. And I kind of got linked up through Josh through the Sucker Punch talent agency, and so we got to talking, and I always knew Niagara Top Team. Obviously, they're super established, super reputable gym, one of the best in Canada, obviously. And Josh trains out of there, and so through Josh, he kind of allowed me to go up there, got me a place to stay, kind of made some introductions for me, and then yeah, once I got up there, man, it's just a whole new level of training, of preparation, of attention to detail. I've said before on other podcasts, just an insane group of athletes, but just a better group of humans as well. Like awesome people, super welcoming, and they're living that day to day grind, just trying to get better every day, and it's something that I'm kind of aspiring to do as well. And so I felt like I kind of was welcome right away, and I fit right in, and just tried to show up with kind of like a work your ass off every day kind of mindset. And they were, like I said, super welcoming. Chris Prickett and D Marks and all those guys, and obviously some of the names in that room: AJ Malott, Jazz, some crazy up and coming people like Powell and Kevin and Dumont and everybody there. There's too many names to list, right? So it was just a blessing to get up there and do a couple different stints. I was up there just in for the majority of August as well. So to get those two training stints up there, I felt it really is taking me to another level for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny how timing kind of works out because, like, I guess just even with what I've been doing today, like, I literally just finished listening to an interview with Josh Hill for that BTC YouTube channel where he is talking about doing more work of that persuasion with Sucker Punch. So, yeah, I mean, he's such a wealth of knowledge and has been in the scene around Ontario for, such a long time and also Canada by proxy. But I also just posted my interview with Kevin, who you referenced, who's readying to fight in my neck of the woods in Oshawa very
Mm-hmm.
soon, just a couple days out as of this recording. It's just such a great gym. Like I feel like there's so many guys who are around your, weight division too and stuff like that to get all these different looks. And I mean, Kevin, when I was talking to him, was like, yeah, you could definitely say that even beyond it being Canada's best gym, it's a contender for like the best gym in the world. So love to hear all that.
Yeah, and I would just echo those sentiments for sure. Like it's just it's a group as a whole. They all show up and work together. Like obviously it's one thing to show up and want to put the work in yourself, but when you see examples of guys that are at the elite of the elite level showing up and the work they put in every day, it's so easy to want to emulate that and just kind of follow in their footsteps. So like I know like Prickett calls Aaron Jeffrey the team captain, and team captain for a reason. The guy just shows up and he's a workhorse every day, and it proves. He just had a huge win in Bellator over Douglas Lima, like, and the kind of proofs in the pudding with those guys, right? The wins that they're coming out, the wins that are coming out of that gym, and the records they're putting together. It's just a product of what they do every day. So yeah, I totally agree with Kevin in saying that it's one of the best gyms, not only in the country but in the world for sure.
Yeah, no, great stuff. And just, yeah, you've had so many great looks over the years. Like having a coach like Matt MacGrath, I mean, just like such a great pedigree in multiple combat sports.
100%, and that's the great thing about me is I'm coming from such a high level coaching background in Matt, and having him as kind of a role model. And yeah, he kind of took me under his wing when I started training. I really got into martial arts a little later than the typical like professional fighter, if you will. I was kind of I was 21, 22ish when I really started taking it seriously. I'm 26 now, so I'm still relatively new in my career and in my journey in this game. But when you have a guy like that that's pushing you every day, right from the get go, you tend to level up quick. And all it really asks from me is just to show up and put my best effort every day. So yeah, Matt's just been not only a great coach but just a great mentor and a great friend as well, because he goes beyond a coach. Um, he's not one of those coaches where he's super stern and this is my way or the highway. He's very open to different methods of coaching and to really kind of letting an athlete kind of grow and take his own course, if you will. So it's just been awesome to have Matt and everybody at our gym as well. So to have Matt and then to have the little bit of cross training that I've had up in Niagara as well, I found over the last 10 months, like we mentioned, I've really made some big leaps and bounds for sure.
Yeah, and it seemed like you were like real into hockey when you were younger. And from an interview I was seeing with like the Fight League Atlantic platform, it seemed like you were kind of touching on that. Like, oh, it's probably like beer league mostly from here on out, but like I'd still like to be involved in some form of athletics. And it seemed like MMA kind of popped up around that point.
Yeah, pretty much, man. So basically you can play your 4 years of junior hockey and then you find out pretty quick whether it's the dream's over or not. Obviously for me, like I was decent. Like I played my 4 years of junior here, but I knew I wasn't going to the show or anything like that. And so once you kind of lose that competitive sport, yeah, I wanted to find something else to kind of scratch that itch. And I always liked physical sports. Like I played rugby, hockey, all that stuff growing up, fought in hockey a little bit. Obviously it's not like MMA at all, but I just kind of always knew that I wanted to be involved in combat sports in some way, shape, or form. And then obviously, being a small island I was super fortunate to have a guy of Matt MacGrath's pedigree that had just opened a gym probably a year prior to me jumping in with him. So really got in early with him and got to grow with him. The gym was originally just kind of like a barn that he built next to his house, and then we quickly outgrew that as the gym kind of gained popularity. Guys started to win fights. People started to take notice a little bit. So now we're more kind of like centrally located in the middle of Prince Edward Island, and gym's going great. We're doing awesome. We're busy, and more and more people getting into the sport from an amateur level to a level where they want to start taking fights and things like that. So it's really the martial arts scene in PEI is really growing nicely for sure.
Yeah, now back-to-back main events for you with FLA. Like that must be a kind of, cool component to the whole thing. Like it also seemed like from some interviews that I've seen with you, like it seems like you really, I guess, get galvanized by that. Like in terms of some people maybe are in those pressure moments and they try to like just dismiss it almost in a certain sense, like, oh, just like any other fight, like whatever. But you're kind of just like embracing it head on, and it's more of that like pressure makes diamonds kind of trope, I suppose.
Yeah, man. I think I'm a little mix of both. I try to go in any fight just kind of level headed, but obviously you want to use that pressure to get yourself up. I always say like it's a privilege to feel that pressure. It's a privilege to have the main event, to be on the poster and all and things like that. So I just try and kind of use all those emotions and all that build up to put my best foot forward and bring my best performance. And yeah, it's awesome. You want to, like I said before in past interviews, like you want to be the main event. You want to push for the biggest stage, and if it's not FLA, then it's the next thing, kind of thing, right? So I want to strive to make the most out of this window that I have to compete and better myself. So yeah, it's you want those big spots for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like too that I mean just the nature of, one's first pro loss, like I feel like that can always like be a very interesting sort of point to see like what, happens next, like to see what that certain response is. And I mean the fact that it was like a split decision, I mean, I feel like I've seen people have like, fairly devastating first losses. Like I feel like that was a very competitive fight with Christian Tremayne, whereby it didn't seem like you lost like any kind of momentum really and whatnot. But yeah, just kind of an interesting last throwdown there at FLA 12 against someone who had like, I guess at the time, a fair bit more professional MMA experience than you. But I imagine some big lessons gleaned from that and stuff like that.
100%. It was definitely a learning curve for me for sure. I mean, I look at it as 15 hard minutes. It was kind of like a grueling grappling style fight. Um, I had my moments for sure, and he had a game plan that he implemented, and he got the win. And I've said it right from the get go. Kudos to him. He kind of had an idea of how he wanted to take the fight, and he was able to, especially in the third round, really implement that and get the win. And so I just took it as kind of a lesson, right? You learn, and that's 15 hard minutes in a cage. That's only going to make you better. So I've kind of been in the deep waters now, and you're on the stool between the second and the third, and you're gassed, and your arms are tired, and you really kind of find out what you're made of, right? So in those moments, it's kind of sink or swim, and I never thought about giving up or anything like that. Like I really kind of found out a lot about myself as a fighter and as a person. So I just took those lessons straight to the gym and tried to kind of patch the holes. And that's kind of product of me traveling to train and go elsewhere and really work on some things that I found needed improving. And obviously, there's always things that need improving, but just trying to take it as a lesson, right? Take it as you win or you learn. So I really I took a lot from that fight, and yeah, like you said, it was a great tight fight with a tough opponent with a lot of experience, and I made sure that I really kind of addressed what I found were issues and really grew from it. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and I mean Ryan Rohovich, your next opponent, in kind of a similar position, and as far as having like a competitive split decision based outcome in his last one when he fought Jet Grand in June. But I mean, just a great opponent to be getting in there with, it would seem like. I mean, he's just got so many different looks over the years, like some big wins under the, BFL banner, and has previously contended for their lightweight championship, and just yeah, the name's really jumping off the page with Ryan Rohovich. I'm actually talking to him a bit later tonight as well. And I was aware of him before, but just like you dig a little deeper when you're getting ready to research someone, or at least I do. And just, victory over a guy like Tom O'Connor as well, and fought Mandel Nalo, who has done great things in like Bellator and Samurai, etc. Like, what are your thoughts on your opponents? I guess like general, resume and just like the skill set they bring to the cage.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of similar to my last outing in a way that it's kind of more of a veteran of the game with experience for sure. He's fought definitely some notable guys. He's got some big wins, but that's what I'm looking to do in this game, right? I want to fight tough guys. I want to test myself. I want to compile a record that's kind of undeniable, right? And I want to get in there with guys that are going to push me and bring out the best version of myself. So when this name came forward, I thought it was a good matchup because yeah, you should be a little nervous. You should use those nerves to kind of fuel the fire of a fight camp and get you ready and things like that. So I think, like I just mentioned, like I think the last 10 months I've really just taken the time to improve. And even though I'm newer in this game than some of these guys I'm fighting, I feel like I'm all in and I'm motivated and I'm really the best version of myself, and I'm going to go in there and get a win. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like you've really found a home for that rear naked choke in your pro wins so far. And I was checking out some footage on you too, and it's just kind of interesting. Like it seems like I'm trying to find a way to phrase this. It's like oftentimes it seems like the rear naked choke path, or the path to any kind of submission for you, seems to be informed by like just raining down like a torrent of strikes, and then you see that opening for the submission and stuff like that. So just really kind of shows that certain like I guess adaptability within that, because I feel like sometimes people can get like hyper fixated on a certain path, like maybe other fighters might continue with that torrent of ground and pound, as I mentioned. But I guess you just see it as like or like looking one step ahead, maybe, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm seeing an opening now with, you know, the submission opportunity here. And, I can really get her going in that kind of sense. Like, I don't necessarily have to like, keep going purely with like the striking kind of realm. Like, it opens up something on the grappling end and whatnot.
Yeah, man, I just try and be as well rounded as possible, honestly. And in my first, like, I kind of jumped right into the pro scene from amateur. Like I said, I fought 3 times amateur within the span. It might have been 6 months or something, and then we just kind of jumped right into the pro ranks. And I look back at the amateur fights, and I definitely think they're a little unpolished in regards to it was kind of just the bell rings and let's go, and I'm swinging until one of us goes down. So I feel like I've become a much more calculated fighter and just much more strategic now. And after, it's just you kind of learn from fight to fight that you really have to make it a chess match rather than I'm just going to run through this guy, because that was kind of my mentality in the first few fights. And I mean, sure, that might work at the amateur ranks, but now that you're fighting guys, like you said, with 10, 11, 15 pro fights, it's these guys are durable, right? They can weather storms and put up with that kind of barrage. So, yes, the last 10 months really just tried to focus on being more calculated and really implementing a game plan and sticking to it. So I think you'll really see a new version of myself in that sense in this one for sure.
Yeah, and really excited to see that, man. Like, I really enjoy Fight League Atlantic's product, as I kind of said before, and just what they do for the scene. I mean, I love Canadian MMA overall, being that this is the MMA Canada platform. So, love to see that on the East Coast and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I said, man, it's been awesome kind of working with them and growing with them. Even before my amateur debut with them, I did a couple like submission events in a cage that they would put on. That was probably right around COVID, maybe right after, I'd say 2021-ish. And just to kind of get the feet wet of those competition nerves and getting in the cage and doing your grappling matches and things like that. So they go beyond just the MMA as well. Like they put on, so like for FLA 16, for example, they're doing this tapper tag event the day before, or the day of, and just things like that, right? That give not only MMA athletes but jiu-jitsu athletes and grappling athletes the chance to compete. And like you said, not traveling going to Vegas for ADCC or what have you. Like you can compete close to home, and people are coming in from all over Canada to compete in these events as well. So you're getting high level athletes, high level grappling events put on in our neck of the woods. So like huge shout out to them for giving these athletes the opportunity to kind of showcase their skills close to home.
Yeah, man, very cool of you to spotlight that too. I actually did notice that when I was checking out some of the Fight League Atlantic kind of stuff. And I guess even tying it into that, Kevin Popovic Bastian interview that I was talking about that I did, I was kind of just combing over it again. And we did kind of like veer out of the MMA talk as well, just talking about, CJI happening relatively recently. And it just seems like a great time to be in the submission grappling world as like a competitor and someone who enjoys watching it as a fan too.
Yeah, 100%. Like the Craig Jones Invitational there, I was actually with Kevin when that was on. We were watching that at Brickett's place, and we were all kind of saying the same thing. Like this is just so great for the sport in general. Like you see in the crowd there, the crowd was massive, and it was like a raucous crowd, and I what was it, $1 million that went to the winner and things like that. So it's just a great spotlight on the sport, and just helps grow the sport as a whole so much, I find. So just a super exciting time to be involved in combat sports and grappling and things like that, and to see it kind of sprouting up in all parts. Phone just fell. Yeah, as I was saying, watching it kind of grow all over the world. So like I'm over on the East Coast Canada, right? And having these events put on by FLA, you can just see that what kind of outreach the sport is has now, and different parts of the world it's touching. So it's super cool, man, to be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Great times for sure. And definitely want to be mindful of your time. Some great topics touched upon, but figured I'd give you the floor in case you had a final parting thought you wanted to add as we're kind of wrapping up here, Cam.
Just come on out or buy the pay-per-view September 21st in Pictou, FLA 16. Obviously, like I said, I've been really taking the last 10 months to just bring out the best version of myself. So I'm super stoked to have the main event spot against a tough, gritty opponent, and should be a great scrap. And I'm super stoked to put my skills on display, man. So yeah, just a big shout out to FLA, and tell everybody to tune in.
Yeah, it's going to be a great fight with Ryan Rohovich at FLA 16. And just, yeah, I really appreciate you making the time to come on the MMA Canada platform, man. Been watching you fight for a little bit now. So glad we could make this work. And yeah, man, you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. You as well.